Hi there. My name is John Stevens. I'm pastor of Zion Lutheran Church in Oregon City, Oregon, and we're part of the ELCA. And welcome to Dollar Store Children's Sermons, where we take a look at the lectionary texts. We tie them to an item from the Dollar Tree. Some of us, junk drawer, others, kids' room, garage, somewhere where we can find something to work. And I am so glad you are with me today. And sometimes I wait until the end to say this, but I also realize that once we get the springboard or the creative ideas are flowing, we hit stop and we move on. So I want to remind you that, and maybe not even, I want to tell you that you are rocking it, that you are doing a fantastic job. And sometimes in the midst of grief, our congregations can forget to let us know. And if you are in that setting, let me remind you that you are doing it. And not only are you doing it, but you are blessing your congregation and your kids, and you are working harder than you have ever worked in your life. I know it. You feel it, whether you name it or not, you know it's just there. So anyway, I am so glad you're with me. And this is for the Narrative Lectionary, and we are looking at the Gospel of Luke. We're looking at the story of the Good Samaritan. And what a great story, but what I love is what leads it up to that. What leads up to the story is okay, this is all nice and neat, Jesus, but who is my neighbor? And I love it when this happens, because Jesus sees it and Jesus goes, ha, I've got this. It's just one of those things where I just love it, where he's like, let me tell you a story. And when someone asks Jesus a question, and Jesus says, I got a story for you. Hold on to your hats, because it's going to be a doozy. And Jesus takes this idea of what it means to be neighbor and expands it fully. He expands it to where what it means to be your neighbor is not just the person that's across the street. It's not the person you like. It's not the person that looks like you, acts like you. Your neighbor is a creation of God, and this is just expands it fully. And so the question then is, we look at how God calls us to see others as our neighbors. So the springboard I'm looking at is either a globe looking at all of these is my neighbor, or we're looking at the world atlas, looking through. It's like, oh man, the neighborhood. It's like the phrase, then God moved into the neighborhood as God moved into the world in Jesus Christ. That's amazing. So there's that. There is, you could hum and sing the theme song of Mr. Rogers, won't you be my neighbor? And so all of that. And then if you haven't done, which my guess is that many of you have done a children's sermon or around wearing a mask. If you have, great. If you haven't, great. But this is another opportunity that you can talk about the reason we wear a mask. The reason we wear a mask is we see the other as our neighbors, and we are called to love our neighbor. And so wearing a mask lets our neighbor and lets the other person know that we are thinking about them. Whether they know we are doing it out of an act of love, we know we are doing it out of an act of love. So that's that springboard for that. So we have that. Now, if you're looking at, it's the first Sunday in Lent, and so many of us bury the Alleluia. And if you're looking for a children's sermon for that, you can search on the Dollar Store Children's Sermons page, dskidssermons.com. You can look at that. Or this could be the year that you don't bury the Alleluia, that you specifically and purposefully, don't bury it, and that you highlight it and you lift it up, and you're like, and the reason is because every Sunday is a little Easter, and every Sunday is a time that we remember and we celebrate the resurrection of Jesus Christ. So we say it even in the name. Instead of it being the first Sunday of Lent, it's the first Sunday in Lent. So that Sunday is outside of Lenten time. It might seem small, it might seem inconsequential, it might seem adiaphora, I love that word, it's not essential for salvation, which it isn't. but it can remind us, especially in this time where grief holds and pushes down, that the Alleluia still stands. So that might be a direction you want to take. All right. Thank you so much for your partner in your ministry. Thank you for stopping by. You are in my prayers. I give thanks for you, and I hope your Lenten journey is holy, and that you're walking along with people that you can lean on. If not, reach out to me. I'd love having a conversation and emailing back and forth or whatever, but know that you're in my prayers. All right, peace. We'll talk to you later. See you next week.